Yo, what's good? This is Aeon Primitive. I'm Ambidexter Morgan.
Cliff Notes.
And we're here chopping it up with the Guillotine Cartel. Definitely subscribe to their YouTube channel. And we're ready to answer some questions, man.
Man, I think that the people shouldn't worry about it too much. You know, you got Q writing for some of the biggest artists, you know, Dre, Eazy-E, you know, and I just don't think that people should really be concerned about that kind of stuff. You know, Dre, he has people coming in to write bass lines, you know, piano lines for him, and he still writes dope shit. You know, it's that's just how it is. You know, some people just can't get the words out, you know, the right message out, and that's what ghostwriters are for, you know, to get that message out. So.
Yeah, definitely. I just think sometimes you have people who have the voice and who have the talent, and then you have people who have the image to sell that. And you know, there's artists out there who really don't give a shit about being in the limelight, so it actually works out for them. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things, just how you feel about it. You know, there's some good artists out. There's some that I don't care for. But again, it's just one of those things where it's you know, it's just opinions. You're always going to have a market for specific artists to specific people. So, you know, there's artists on the radio that I don't care for, but to somebody out there, they're dope. And you know, it's one of those things. You know, we make music, and I know there's people who don't like our music, and there's people who like our music. So it's just one of those things, you know, that, you know, I don't really kind of find trivial. You know what I mean? There's a place for everything and everyone. That's just how I feel about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the points that are hit today might resonate more in the youth of today, you know, versus back then. Things were a little different, you know, in the golden era, and the message was different back then.
Yeah. So
I think, you know, the message is a lot different. You know, there's a lot of different things going on in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what these artists are trying to tap on. Who knows? You know,
Yeah.
it's just it's all a matter of opinion, like Dex said.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's different. You know, you had you know, more of a street thing. You know, back in the day, I think, you know, you had graffiti artists, you had breakers and poppers, you had, you know, just this culture that was, you know, that was in this whole hip hop thing. And I don't really see it now. I see it more about the money. I see it more about the bitches, and then the cars, and the, you know,
all the kind of surface level stuff.
Yeah.
Superficial.
I think it's not as deep as it used to be. You know, like the inner city type thing. Now it's just, you know, a whole world concept, and I think that culture is kind of lacking in hip hop today.
Yeah, I think the message is missing. You know, message is missing from hip hop. The subject matter is kind of watered down, and again, you know, there's only so many times you can talk about your rim, money, houses. I mean, that's great if you're making a profit off your art, but after a while, we don't. You know, I think the listeners don't give a shit, and they want to actually hear something real out of your mouth. So that's how I feel about it. No, I think hip hop is evolving as it should. You have artists out there who are whatever, and then you have really good artists who are making good music. So I think it's just the creative evolution, you know, part of the art will always change, you know, and you just gotta expect that. That doesn't mean that you as an artist have to compromise your work to fit the status quo, but I think definitely there is a change, and some of it positive, some of it not.
Yeah, I think the evolution is the key thing to growing and
Yeah.
expanding. I constantly hear on the producer side, a lot of the old school cats that, they can't stand the 808 kick, and they'd rather hear the old samples and stuff. Well, is that forward thinking?
Yeah.
I think if you want to be able to be, be productive and creative, I think you need to think creatively and think forwardly and not think backwards or forwards or
Yeah.
down or up. Like you just create and do what feels right,
Yeah.
what your heart is telling you and the direction that you feel like you're going. I think that's the key element of the producing side of it.
Yeah, you could definitely embrace the change and remain true to yourself, and rightfully so.
Or you can be labeled old school.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. As far as what's weird, because hip hop, was born, is used to blending other sounds together. So I mean, it's evolved in some of the sounds, but then some of the sounds are actually borrowed from a lot of other genres. When you hear a lot of the stuff, the darker sounds that is being used by like Big Sean, A$AP Rocky, The Weeknd, stuff. That a lot of that stuff can be attributed to trip hop, acid jazz, chill out. So if you really look into that, but those kind of dark undertones. But I don't know. I think again, you just have your really good artists who kind of stay true to those elements, those deep roots in hip hop, and then you have your commercial pop artists that ultimately, yeah. There's really no depth to them. It's pretty simple. As long as you wearing a big chain, flashing some rims again, and chicks and money, then it's a formula that's been used for years. So it's nothing new.
Yeah, I think that it started off as a DJ mixing two records together.
Yeah.
And now it's like this whole production thing, and whether you want to say that it's been washed out over the years, it could be true,
Yeah.
But I think you get like artists like Kendrick Lamar that like is bringing that back, the conscious cultural aspect of hip hop.
Yeah.
I think it's coming back. I think that like
Yeah.
the true hip hop kind of thing, maybe in the underground, it's it's starting to kind of momentum is starting to build again, and people are getting excited about hip hop, and it's not like this money making thing that now like you're getting artists who are saying things and making messages that are making people stand up.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that hip hop has that can empower you and empower people.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, definitely. Like us on Facebook, Aeon Primitive. We do
Facebook and SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yeah. We got tons of materials. Since 2012, really big on networking with artists and really trying to always constantly innovate our sound. So definitely give us a listen, and also support your local artists always.
Yeah,
always
definitely.
support.
That's the key thing, man. Support your local artists.
Yeah, definitely.